Today is 23rd of August 2023. I would still like to talk about more averages, group data. Yesterday, we did our first group data example, okay? And we want to look at another example today. First of all, I would like to say thank you to everyone who has been watching our videos, okay? If these videos are helping you, please consider subscribing, sharing, liking, and following us, especially depending on which platform you are watching from, okay? It will be very much appreciated. In the comment section, I normally write, please follow my notes and scripts. So, for instance, this is yellow and a Y, okay? Assuming I'm talking and my pen is pointing and I'm explaining something, okay? Don't assume otherwise. Just follow my note. So, for instance, if I want to say 2 and the pen is pointing at 2, then it is a 2. But if it's 2% on the notes and you hear 2, then please go by 2%. So always follow my notes. Thank you very much on that. Beware of scammers, please. Okay, I won't send you foreign numbers to send me money. I do not have an orphanage, and I don't even know any orphanage in some Africa somewhere. Okay, so please, if somebody sends you a friend request and accesses your messenger and keep on sending you foreign numbers, it's not coming from us, okay? Block that person or report that person. Thank you very much. Okay, we've been talking about group data, okay, and we've used it to find the median, mean, mode, and range, okay. Last lesson, we found the median age, the mean age, the modal age group, and the range of age for a community, okay. Today we want to look at another group data example similar to what we looked at yesterday. But before I do that, I started talking, we've been doing probability as well. So even though we've done sample space diagram, I thought I would share with you systematic listening from a set of 3 things. So yesterday we looked at how to systematically list a set of 3 numbers, 1, 3, and 5. So assuming you want all the 3 numbers at once, okay, not 2, then how do you go about that? Probability questions are easy, but don't get confused if they twist the questions, okay. So all this relative frequency, sample space diagrams. We are experimental frequency. We are learning all of them. If you can get the possible outcomes, then the question is easy. But if you cannot do that, then it becomes a very difficult. That's why I'm trying to give you some of the possible outcomes, because assuming you can list all the possible outcomes, then that becomes your denominator. Okay, so however they throw the questions at you, you'll be able to answer them and get it right. So if you get all the marks on a probability questions and all the marks on the data question, then you are in a good place to start thinking about a C, a B, or even an A. Okay, so let's look at this one, systematic listening. Yesterday I brought 1, 3, and 5. Today I'm bringing the color of pegs. So 3 pegs, yellow, blue, and green. Okay, so how do you do that? So you have yellow, blue, and green. Okay, you want all the 3 occurring at the same time, but they are mutually exclusive. Okay, so you won't have yellow, blue, and green and yellow, green, and blue occurring at the same time. You can only have one of these occurring at the same time. Okay, so now yellow, blue, and green. Now this is a yellow, so what is left is a blue and a green. Okay, then we go to the next stage, we flip it around. Now we have green and blue. Okay, so if you follow this line, you have yellow, blue, and green being your first outcome, and then yellow, green, and blue being your second outcome. Now you've done yellow, so the next one you consider is a blue. If you take the blue, then you are left with yellow and green. Okay, and then if you flip it around, you have green and yellow. So now the third outcome will be blue, yellow, green. Blue, yellow, green. Here it will be blue, green, yellow. Blue, green, yellow. So you've done yellow, blue, and yellow and blue. Now the third color is green. As we saw yesterday, we did 1, 3, and 5. Okay, this is why it's systematic, because if you just start listing, you might be muddled up. Okay, so let's not deviate. So this is the green. Now if you take green, you are left with yellow and blue, and then if you flip it around, you have blue and yellow. So you have yellow, green, yellow, blue, green, yellow, blue, and then have green, blue, yellow. So now these are your 6 possible outcomes. If you can do it this way, you can see that none of them are the same. Okay, yellow, blue, green, yellow, green, blue, blue, yellow, green, blue, green, yellow, green, yellow, blue, green, blue, yellow. So now you have 6 outcomes, okay, for this set of colors. So as long as you know your outcome, okay, This become your denominator answer. Then whatever question they throw at you, you can use these outcomes to solve. Okay, so again, we have systematic listening as we did yesterday. Okay, so that is the diagram, and that is the outcome there. We have 6 possible outcomes. Okay, now we want to look at another group data example today. Okay, so far we've been doing single datas. We did single datas where maybe we have a list of 10 possible numbers. To find the mean, we add all the numbers and divide by the numbers there are. Okay, yesterday we looked at our first group data. Okay, today too, this is a data of children age 1 to 16 in a community who have played computer games in the past 7 days. Okay, it's holidays. Okay, so maybe they might go for swimming, they might go for an activity, but when they are home, what have they really been doing? So maybe they are allowed on the computer for 30 minutes or 1 hour. So when they go on the computer, they've played some games in a form, okay, whether PlayStation or what, we don't know. But in a community, children between 1 and 15 say they have, okay, if you look at 1 to 2 years, it's 2 of them, okay, because it's a fairly young age. Okay, if you look at 15 to 16, okay, most of them are going to year 12, so maybe that's why we have a higher number. Okay, and then 9 to 10, 11 to 12 as well. They're either going to secondary school or they're in secondary school. Okay, this is also 12, so maybe they're preparing for their Gcse, so maybe a lot of them are not allowed. Okay, I haven't been spending a lot of time playing more games, but once a while, after learning for so long, it's better to just engage and do something with yourself that will relieve you and allow you to assimilate or think about what you've been doing. Okay, so now we said yesterday that our ages should not overlap. So 1 to 2. So if you are 2 years 7 months, you'll be in this group. If you are 3 years and a day, you'll be in this group. Okay, so our ages are not overlapping and they have equal intervals. These are the frequency. Okay, so even if it's not given to you and it's given to you in form of a lot of set of numbers, you should be able to use the tally to sort it out. Okay, because if it's given to you that form, then there'll be enough time for you to do it so that you can get the marks. The only thing is just be careful so that you do it once and you don't have to do it again. Okay, so that's it. So this is the frequency column, and it's if when you add it on the calculator, you get 90. Now yesterday I said to you the midpoint all these numbers here are your upper class boundaries. All the numbers here are your lower boundaries or lower class boundaries. Okay, so the midpoint x is the upper class plus the lower class boundaries, all divided by 2. So to find the midpoint x for the first one is 2 add 1, which is 3, divided by 2, so you get 1.5. And you have to do it for the whole column. So I did a bit of it. So the first one is 2 add 1 divided by 2, 1.5. So I put 1.5 there. 4 add 3 divided by 2, 3.5. So that's 3.5. 6 add 5 divided by 2, 5.5. So that's 5.5 here. 8 add 7 divided by 2, which is 7.5. So that's 7.5. Okay. 10 add 9 divided by 2, 9.5. So that's 9.5 here, and so on. So the last 3, you can do it by yourself. 12 add 11 divided by 2, 11.5. 14 add 13 divided by 2, 13.5. 16 add 15 divided by 2, 15.5. Okay, so that is your midpoint, that is x. Okay, you need your x to multiply by your f, your frequency, which is your f. Okay, you always, if you have a group data, you always have to find the midpoint. If it's not group data and it's just single data, as we've seen, then you don't need the midpoint. Okay, so now this is your, and you realize that you need equal boundaries. So don't do 1 to 2 and then do 3 to 6 and then do 7 to 12. Don't do that. Do equal boundaries and do a tally if you have a lot of numbers and put them in the frequency table. There are chances they might organize it for you. They might help you with the boundaries, okay, in Gcse level, and they might give you the frequency and leave the midpoint out for you to do this column and that one. Okay, but whatever they give you, you understand what to do, so you should be able to do it and get the marks, because these are even though it looks a bit a lot, it's so easy to get all the marks here. So now we said we need to find the sum total of the frequency. Okay, they might tell you, they might not, but if you add them, your sum of the frequency, which is sigma f, is 90. Now you need your calculator. Start using your calculator, especially if you are doing your Gcse next year, because it will help you a lot get used to your functions. They are not going to allow you to use your phone. Okay, so if you have Gcse next year, start using a calculator so that you just get used to the functions, because it will shock you. A lot of students start using the calculator the night before and then they can't even figure out the functions. Okay, so this is the table. You can pause here and then do the calculations. So we are multiplying this frequency by x. Don't forget, and x is your midpoint. Okay, so 2 times 1.5 will give you 3. 14 times 3.5 will give you 49. 11 times 5.5 will give you 60.5. 19 times 7.5 will give you 142.5. 8 times 9.5 will give you 76. 6 times 11.5 will give you 69. 12 times 13.5 will give you 162. 18 times 15.5 will give you 279. When you total everything, summation fx, it's 841. So now you have the total of this column and you have the total of frequency, so you can find your mean now. Okay, so the mean, okay, the mean age is summation f of x, which is in the table which you've just done, and summation f. Okay, you need to add all this number, and that is your total. Summation means total, and this is the sign. Okay, so if you do that, you have 841 divided by 90. Okay, that is the 90. That is the 90 that we are considering from the community. And then when you divide, you get 9.344444. The 4 is recurring. So to 1 decimal place is 9.3 years to 9 decimal place. So here you can have 9 years and some months. Okay, so this is acceptable. I brought the approximate sign because I had to do it to 1 decimal place. Is that okay? Now the modal age group is the age group with the highest frequency. You remember when we're doing single data and we have the data, to find the mode, we just look for the number that occurs the most. And there are times there is none. But here, the frequency is at 19. So the age group that had most of them doing the frequency is between 7 to 8. Okay, so that is the modal age group. So because we are doing a group data, so our answer should be in groups. So the most frequency is the modal age group. Now the median age group or the middle age group, if it were single data and it had 1 middle number, that would be our median. If it had 2 middle numbers, then we add them together and divide by 2. Now this is a group data, so first of all we take the total frequency and divide by 2. Okay, so when you do that, the total frequency is 90. You divide by 2 is 45. Okay, so that is what you get. So it means that you have to go to the age group and start totaling the frequency. So if you look at the age group here, okay, between age 1 and 2, you have 2. Okay, so that is the first one. Okay, so then the second one, 3 and 4, you have the frequencies 14. So when you add them up, you have 16. But you are looking for where the frequency will be at 45. Okay, now if you add 5 to 6, so 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 to 6, you have 2 at 14 and add 11, and it's still not quite there, so now you have 27. So we add the second one because we need to get to 45. So if you add the fourth one, so the fourth one, the frequency is 19. If you add it, you now have 46. So it means your middle of age or median age group will fall in this group. Okay, because this is the total summation divided by 2. So the frequency of 45 falls in the age group 7 to 8. Okay, so let me show you this a bit. So the first 4 age group, if you add the frequency in 7 to 8, is 46. So you don't need to go further, because if you go further, you will get more than 45. 45, this falls in this group. Okay, so frequency of 45 falls in the age group 7 to 8 years. So median age group is 7 to 8 years. Okay, range of age group, the younger age is 1 and the highest is 16. So the range will be 16 minus 1, which is 15 years. So far, the summary, this is what we found. Okay, so the mean age group here is 9.3 years to 1 decimal place. Remember, it's age of children in a community. Okay, so we can have this 9.3. The model age group is the age of children who played the most, is between 7 and 8. So what is telling us here is, in that community, children between 7 to 8 are the ones are more engaged with computer games. Okay, median age group is 7 to 8, as we found. Okay, and then the range of 8 is 15 years, because it's from 1 to 16 years. If we go to 18, then the range of age will be different. Okay, so assuming we're sampling adults from 20, like we did yesterday, from 20 up to 160 years, then the range of age will be different. So the range of age is the lowest minus the highest data, but depending on what you are looking at, the range of age might change or it will be different. Okay, so this is what group data is all about. This is our second question. Okay, have a look, watch the video, watch it again. Okay, it's in the comfort of your home and your phone, so you can always go on it. If you don't understand something, the video will be there. Watch it, okay, to make sure you understand, so that if it comes into the exam, you can solve it. Okay, because the same way it's easy to get an A, it's the same way it's easy to get a fail. Okay, it's both ways. If you understand it and you put in a little effort, you should be able to just do it. Okay, and the nice thing is, if you understand something or if you've learned something and it show up in an exam, then you should be confident, solve it, and get your marks and move on. Is that okay? So thank you for watching today, and I'll see you next lesson.